We're live on the Schlamma Show podcast, episode 3, I do believe. Technically, canonically, episode 3, but in actuality, probably episode 4. With Check the Great as usual. We're gonna look at some water this time. We are currently at the Albion Borough Park. It is probably 85 degrees outside on a Sunday. Feels like 70, so
feels like 70, hold on.
If you're where we are, it is... Don't mind me, just basically trying to fall.
We gotta go to the tracks behind your house.
Yeah.
A fucking 40-foot bridge.
I don't want to sound like Little Richard here.
No, that's a good lesson that fucking Bear Grylls taught me. Whenever you're doing that, yeah.
Well, I learned that in Boy Scouts, but so the water today is probably, let me throw a rock to show you the for reference. It's deep. Yeah. Probably 3 feet deep. It's a nice little creek / river. The only difference between is one's bigger, river's bigger, but there's nothing. I can honestly take these swimming conditions, but
yeah, dude, this is like primal, like swimming water.
But I like to skip stones a lot here. It's really fun, but you have to be like down the area.
Yeah.
But usually you have to it has to be a little bit drier. But yeah, people are trying to fish here. I don't get that. You ain't getting any fish.
No, nuh-uh.
I mean, trout do like to migrate up, but that's like in December.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm looking at shit. I'm retarded.
hey.
But you know,
In actuality, I know.
whenever I go outside, I'm like, can I have some ice cream?
Right.
Followed by me gasping for air.
Oh yeah. Drugs are bad, kids. Well, no, drugs aren't bad. It's the people who are bad who use them, because chemicals are chemicals, and chemicals actually don't do jack shit to your brain because your brain is based off chemicals. Little lesson for the day: fuck off and die. So yeah, if you watched our podcast before, you basically know that this is all we talk about.
Yeah, exactly. This is
It's essentially it.
We were literally in like a college, like basic.
A college seminar, basically.
Yeah.
Throwing rocks is fun. It's a nice American pastime. Gotta find a good one now. Nice! You know how to skip a rock?
There we go.
So basically, the art of skipping rocks dates back to China, apparently. Dates back to like Imperial China or something. And basically they did invent everything. 2 skips, nice.
Yeah, it was China, it was the Chinese, and then it was Mesopotamia, then it was Greece.
So I think today's art topic's gonna be history. So people like to rip on the Mongols, but the Mongols weren't actually that bad. I mean, they committed genocide everywhere they went, but they weren't that bad.
Yeah, they did some fucked up shit, but they weren't really as bad as like.
They weren't as bad as, like, say, the Christians during the Crusades. We don't talk about that, though. No one likes to admit that Christians literally wiped out an entire race because they thought they were savages. 8 times. Because everyone likes to think about the first 3 crusades. There were 8 different crusades, dating all the way back to the Renaissance, or going to the Renaissance. About the 1500s was the last crusade. And the 3 of them were the only ones that were successful. The rest of them were such a failure that we just vault them up and don't talk about them. You will never learn about the Crusades in history class, kids, in like high school. Never. Never, unless you take like world cultures.
Yeah, even world cultures.
Even world cultures barely touches it.
Barely.
They were like the Crusades were a thing.
We did talk about the Renaissance, like first like month of the year, but like,
Right, like for a week.
After that, shit was just like, nah.
After that, even our history teacher kind of realized shit gets fucky.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about the downfall of the Romans.
Right.
And how everybody else was like, hey, remember how you fucking massacred us all those hundreds of years ago? Yeah, now,
Payback time.
Yep. We got better shit than you do.
Although Roman architecture never will be,
Yeah.
never be anything like it. I mean, they fucking built aqueducts. And I don't know if you've seen aqueducts. That shit's revolutionary.
Well, when it comes to like building times, the Greeks and the Egyptians are the closest thing.
Yeah, but the Romans. The Romans were good in everything. It really just, it all fell down in like the 3rd century. And at the 3rd century, there were about 8 emperors within a year.
Yeah.
People just started killing each other. There was one more good emperor. I forget his name, but he wore a gold mask. He wore a gold. He fucking wiped out everything. He made it. Basically, it was his "Make Rome Great Again" campaign, and by that he killed everyone who disagreed with him. He made Rome great, but sadly, the Praetorian Guard, doing what the Praetorian Guard does, killed him. Because the Praetorian Guard realized, hey, there shouldn't be emperors. Basically, it was a guard set up by Octavius to make sure that the emperors didn't get too powerful. In other words, it meant, hey, they realized, hey, all emperors are too powerful to begin with, so after a certain while, we're just gonna start killing them.
Yeah. Y'all motherfuckers better fucking run as far away.
Basically, Praetorian Guard abused their power, and they just killed every emperor after Octavian, basically. But the Praetorian Guard killed the last good emperor, and then Rome just fell. Because it was bad. Yeah, I think this is like 300 or 200 AD, and that's when the Roman Empire starts to fall anyway. 3rd century was a bad time.
And then the rest is just up to Europe, just them building up.
Right. And
Like millennia.
1066, the Battle of Hastings, is probably the most important battle in all European history. It really determined the entire fate of the English world for almost a whole millennia. Because it was England, the Anglo-Saxons versus the Normans. And William the Conqueror versus England. There's a reason William the Conqueror is called William the Conqueror.
William the Conqueror belonged to...
Normans, France.
Yeah, Normandy, Normans, France. I was thinking the same thing, but I was like, I want to double check.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Normandy. Yeah.
So I'm not double fucking myself.
Plus Vikings were around that time, and it was really an all-around time for war for Europe, England, like that area. I'm gonna get out because I feel like the river is messing up the audio.
Yeah. Whew. Let me help you out.
No, I got it.
Alright.
Whew. Alright, we are back on the mainland,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go in some shade.
Yeah, let's go into the fucking trees.
But Pennsylvania.
Anywho.
Pennsylvania's messing up a lot, big time now.
Yeah.
Ooh. And there's nothing you can really do about it because we don't work for the government. We're just fucking 18, 19-year-old kids.
Yeah, just fucking, I graduated last year. He just graduated like
A month ago. Not even the end of this month.
I've literally been spending like an entire year trying to find a job.
I've literally been spending an entire 3 months getting high. Eli's going to do something. He'll be right back. This video was brought to you by Monster Energy. Fuel the Beast.
Monster Energy, for those of you who don't know.
Monster Energy is probably one of the 2 OG energy drinks besides Red Bull. And it dates back to the late 90s, of course.
Yeah.
I love it. My favorite besides Bang.
I'm like, holy fucking shit. Yeah. Oh my god.
And we got Eli filming his video now, which is going to coincide with his podcast in a little bit. So you'll get 2 perspectives. You'll get the audio perspective and the visual perspective on Chuck the Great's channel. Of course, my visual perspective will have a lot of memes in it and shit. His will be just straightforward vlog style, which is are two varying different styles.
Yeah.
That's how it is. That's how it always is.
Yep.
So
I mean, either way, you could either watch the whole thing or you could just like have this as a sleep aid compilation. Like,
right.
You don't have to watch it. You can literally have it in the background. If you're doing homework or
right.
fucking chores. If you're doing laundry, you can listen to this while you're fucking cutting the grass with headphones in.
I like to use the audio recorder. Eli likes to use the camera. I don't know why. It's retarded to me, but yeah, it is what it is. It truly is.
My preference.
Right. Pennsylvania has had a spike in COVID-19 cases lately.
Yep, because everybody thinks it's fucking vacation time.
Right. Have you seen the traffic lately?
Yeah.
It's bad. There was already an accident one day in the green phase on Peach Street.
Right.
For all you don't know, Peach Street's in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's like the heart of Erie, considered.
Yeah, Erie County.
And Erie County is fucking, to say the least. The grass, they didn't even mow this. They don't take care of this part at all when some shit happens. That's why they had it shut down for like 3 months. Because it gives them a reason not to take care of it. Which is wasting our taxpayer dollars.
Yep. So anyway, with history.
Quick history.
So where can we start? Very beginning or where we're at now or anywhere in between? I mean, like when civilizations first started.
So back in like 25,000 BC.
Which is like when the Egyptians were.
Even before that. We'll go before. There were these primates that we were hunter-gatherers as a start. And these primates found these mushrooms. And they ate these mushrooms. And it's basically how we evolved. It's been proven that chimpanzees or our primitive species ate psilocybin mushrooms and evolved into what we are now. Because psilocybin mushrooms promote neurogenesis. I've talked about this before on our podcast. Psilocybin mushrooms actually allow your brain to grow whenever you ingest them. So it makes sense why people like to learn and like to learn new information from non-psilocybin mushrooms. Because of neurogenesis. There's a guy who claimed he was colorblind and now he can see colors again because of neurogenesis from psilocybin mushrooms. But that could be anecdotal, but I mean, it's possible, theoretically. But yeah, chimpanzees ate this and their brain got big. But Egyptians, move forward about probably 100,000 years now. Egyptians were good. The Egyptians were pretty...
I'm pretty sure they enslaved the Mesopotamians.
Did they stay enslaved? Everybody.
Yeah, but that's why nobody liked them at first, but then like...
Everyone liked them.
Everybody liked them. Let's just be honest, all of these fucking ancient civilizations are equally, like, they're equally guilty of some like really fucked up shit.
Well, they're ancient, there's the word.
Yeah.
They didn't know better. Or, I can't argue that, because humans know better. However, shit's gotta get done. They didn't have the shit we had today where we could, like, make robots to do our work. The closest thing to a robot they had was a man named Bob. The Mesopotamian Bob. Have you heard the earliest recorded song? It's like from Mesopotamian times. It's really weird. It's not good.
But it's kind of like surreal because it's just like, wow, this is what we fucking listened to like thousands of years ago.
My favorite music is Caveman banging on sticks and rocks, making T-Rex noises.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite music, man.
Well, I love how like we went from making fucking noises to being able to fucking speak Mandarin. And fucking able to speak English.
Have you tried speaking Mandarin? It's hard.
I'll tell you I don't know. It's worth a try. It's worth a try, but it's just super fucking difficult.
But Russian, though, that's a whole. The Slavic languages.
The Cyrillic alphabet. Ugh. Fucking dick.
We don't support fucking dicks on this channel.
I love how like when the sun peeked out, like for the first time in the last one that we did, I'm just like, oh, you're peeking out now, cunt. Followed by you being like, fucking whole bag.
Yeah. Shit. The Cyrillic alphabet is weird.
It is.
Because it's like, it's trying to be Greek and Latin, but also English.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. You can't. I mean, they do it. But holy fuck, trying to learn the language.
And like me and him watched a video. This was before COVID. This was back in like November. He came over to my place and like we watched a video on Egyptian language, ancient Egyptian language, and he fucking like started speaking like every single word, like he fucking knew that shit. He still fucking knows it. I'm like, what the fuck? This motherfucker could speak in like an alien language.
Because ancient Egyptians a lot like Hebrew. With the words, it really. Well, not with the hieroglyphics, of course.
Well, yeah.
But like with the words, it's an African, almost Middle Eastern language. So.
Hieroglyphs, that word is from Cairo, ancient.
Well, most words that we interpret as modern day words come from Greek.
Yeah.
Words. Because majority of the because the Greek language is Latin. The Greek language is the Latin language.
Yeah, that's what the Romans took
Right.
influence from in their language.
The Roman language, I think Roman's technically Latin or whatever, but either way, like they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the Roman language and you look at the Greek language and you take out the V's and replace it with the U's, you got like the same thing.
Yeah. It's like the same thing.
It's a hot take, but it's my take of the day.
Each and every single like.
English is just an absolute fuck of a language. Because it takes all the other languages and it's like, yeah! I'm the simplest yet somehow hardest language. The English language is the simplest language, yet it's somehow the hardest.
And speaking Mandarin, fucking hardest language.
I'm not saying like proficiently like orally wise, I'm saying like mastering the language.
Yeah.
Like Mandarin in German, in French, you could master those languages. I know Italian, a lot of Italian, because it's basically Spanish.
Basically, yeah.
And I know a little bit of French because it's basically Italian. It's the love languages.
Yeah, the Romance languages.
The love languages are basically the same.
Yeah, they're all fucking interlinked.
Because they come from that Latin era where they're like, a Publius Maximus. Deus vult. God willing. Il vento d'oro, Santa Maria Duomo. The Santa Maria Novella District in Florence. It's very easy. But English, because of conjugate, because everything, yeah, the proper nouns, it's, and then words like meat, and meat. Hair, here.
Sword.
Sword. Or there. There, and there.
Yeah.
The same fucking word audibly. Oh, but if you write it
But
wrong.
writing it down, it's like.
No.
The same word. It's just like each and every civilization that came before
But not the English language. The English language just looked at every other language and is like, I can do better.
Yeah.
and then they didn't do better. They didn't do better at all. Arguably, they did worse.
Yeah.
Because if you know the German language, I mean, it's a lot of hard pronunciations, like fair and sign style. It's a hard pronunciation if you don't know German umlauts and ss and stuff like that. But it's simple. The language structure is set up like how Yoda speaks. There is another. Or love you I do. Liebe ich du. It's very fucking simple. Same with Spanish. Basically, if you learn the Spanish alphabet and you learn what Spanish nouns are in the masculine and feminine tenses in Spanish, you're set. You're set. Because then it's just putting a sentence together. And you're set. And once you learn Spanish, you got Italian. Because again, they're basically
They got the differences, but
they got their differences.
Like all languages and their own little language families, they all got a lot of shit in common.
Here's the difference between Spanish and Italian. Spanish looks awful when it's written on paper. Italian looks divine. Have you seen Italian written on paper?
Yeah, I've seen these both written on paper. It's just like, what the fuck?
And they're basically the same language, like even the way they sound.
Yeah.
Like, but Spanish written on paper, it's like, but Italian written on paper, that's some premium shit. And then like, but if you hear Spanish, it's divine, and if you hear Italian, it's God tone. It depends on the accent of Italian. Like, if you're speaking like Florentine area
Like if
Italian,
if you're speaking different dialects,
right? Like Tuscan Italian, oh. Like there's, and then like Sicilian Italian, which is Sicilian, but hot take of the day.
Yeah.
It's Italian.
Technically, we're the Romans descended, but
Technically, but we don't talk about that, you know. The Romans don't exist anymore.
No.
Well, the city of Rome exists, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, and Latin still exists, but
Latin, you only use it if you're A, identifying animals, or B, in the professional medical field. People say Latin is a dead language, but it is not dead. It's archaic. There's a difference.
yeah,
It's old, but it's most certainly not dead.
right.
Mesopotamian and Syrian, or Babylonian, those are dead languages.
Yeah.
No one there's no use. Or
With Sumerian.
Sanskrit.
Yeah,
Sumerian.
Sanskrit is arguably the first language, not all languages.
Yeah, Sanskrit is the base language, and it's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, have you heard? So someone translated the song All Star in ancient Aramaic, and then back to English, and it sounds beautiful. It's like, with a shape of a Greek gamma on my forehead. Hey now, you're a musician. Collect income. Enjoy happiness. And it turned it into like an Ed Sheeran song. But see, I love making my podcast because I don't have to pick a general topic. I can literally just talk about everything. See, if I make a video, I have to stick with a topic, and usually I don't anyway. But a podcast, it's like, holy shit.
We're just like, relaxing here.
Right.
And there's that occasional breeze.
Breeze is nice.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Well, the Aramaic version of All Star. I'll send you a link to it.
Aramaic is a Semitic language.
People like to talk about so I like Facebook pages or internet pages that talk about ancient Greek memes and shit, like ancient civilization memes. And I hate how historians always talk about how the Greeks were never homosexual. Literally, the Greeks invented homosexuality. The Romans perfected it, but the Greeks invented it.
Yeah.
Like Alexander the Great. Yeah, he was super fucking gay, but he also had 3 wives.
Super fun.
He was probably the gayest man around, but he had 3 wives as well. The Greeks just liked sex. They were into that shit.
Yeah.
So So here's how I see it. The Greeks invented orgies, but the Romans figured out you can have women in it.
Everybody just adds their own little spices into what they hear about. And they're just like, hey, I'm making my own version, bitch. And it's kind of what it is, technically.
Hey now, you're a musician. Collect income.
And be happy.
But yeah.
I want to get tetanus in that dick.
What? Because with a tetanus shot, you have to get the shot in the affected area. So you're getting like a needle this big on your. That just totally put me out of my misery, kill me.
At least it's not going in your balls, though. You see, this is where I make it weird.
No, if I ever had a tetanus shot in my dick, I'd tell them to chop it off.
Yeah.
I'd be getting a second chance.
Yeah.
I'd be done. So I'm planning my graduation party. Well, my one for the boys, not my family one. For all of you who don't know, again, the podcast, we do go for varying topics. We're going into the dark gray area for a bit. So my graduation party, I plan on probably going to Carter's house for an all-nighter. That's all I need to say, but I'm gonna say more. I need to save some money. My mom gave me $5 so I can get some food, which is nice. So I'm probably get some food. I'm about to make a post in the group chat, like, bring your own weed. Because that's the only shit that's actually expensive. Weed is fucking expensive. For Carter, that's not an issue, because Carter has his own shit. That's a given. But he has to think about it, because he is weird. He's not weird, but the situation. I'm not getting into it. Yeah. So hopefully that works. If not, I don't know. Because my mom said I can't have it at my house, which I can. I can. But we had it's Carter's birthday party at his house, and there was a shit ton of drugs there. So I don't see how this would be an issue. I don't see how it could be problematic at all. Not at all. Honestly, I might just have it where it's me and Carter, to be honest.
Yeah, because it literally gets to a point to where if you start inviting people, there's gonna be an issue. Someone's gonna do or say something.
Right, because Carter and I can do whatever we want. Like Carter and I have tripped before together. Carter and I have done Molly together. Carter and I have done shit together. Like we're bros. like I said in the last podcast, I want to say a bromance type thing. Like, we're tight.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly might just have it. Because Carter and I also want to watch like a shit. We have a plan where we want to watch like a shit ton of anime. We're not weebs, we just like cartoons. There's a difference. We appreciate the culture, but we're not obsessed with it.
Yeah. Anime is just the example of we defeated Japan, like, and we fucking, like...
We caused Japan to have a cultural revolution.
Yeah. Well, we took one of their fucking, like, cultural, their cultural, media, like, television programs, and, like, stole that shit as a war trophy.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
I mean, Hitler is responsible for hentai. That's the way I like to look at it. Because hentai didn't exist before World War II. Hitler's responsible for hentai.
Yep.
And anime. You can thank Hitler for JoJo's. That's the title. Thank Hitler for JoJo's.
I
But yeah, I might just have it so it's at Carter's, because maybe Jordan. I don't even know about Jordan. Jordan kind of threw a fit when I brought up Molly. He's like, man, stay away from that shit. I'm like, too little, too late. I'm like, Jordan, you're my friend, but you're doing something just as bad. So. He's like, I just want to know. I know from experience that it can be bad. I'm like, everybody has one person that they know, or one person that has done bad things. That's life. You know, we live in Pennsylvania, dummy. Like, you don't think I don't know people addicted to drugs? Like, you're retarded. If you think that, like, no. I am a poor white man. I am a poor Jewish white man. No, I know people addicted to drugs. I lived in a fucking trailer park. Like, no, you're wrong.
Always something going on.
The difference is, I know when to stop. I know when to stop. That's the difference. Addicts don't know when to stop. And there's a very fine line between a casual user and an addict. There's a very fine line.
Right. Like you're literally describing the difference just by asking the question.
Right. What is the difference between a casual user and an addict?
Well,
I'll
what
explain.
word is in the first one? Casual. You know, just like, you know, on occasion.
Someone who can give or take it whenever and move on. Addicts don't move on. They crave it. They want it.
They have an
need
addiction.
It. They have an it's in the word addict. I am a casual user. I can use anytime, go without anytime, and I more or less feel the same regardless. I more or less just move on. I don't care if I.
What?
Someone talking?
I don't know. There could be people over there.
But if I go without, I'm not gonna like burn down my house or kill a nigga. And I can say that because of the First Amendment, boys. Yikes. A friend gave me the N-word pass. No, in all actuality, you shouldn't say that.
Aristotle and Socrates argue over talk on Mount Olympus about the current world.
Part 1. But the difference is, I'm not gonna kill someone or go like absolute bonkers if I don't go without some fucking acid. I could very well see people that I know going crazy if they don't get weed. I'm not gonna call anyone's name out. They know who they are. They know. If you heard that in my video, congratulations, you have good ears. If not, that is the point. Moving on. Or David. You know, David literally, during the fair, we walked up about 5 miles for a cigarette we didn't even know was there. The cigarettes were there, but we didn't know. He was actually crying. That is an addict. That is the definition between a casual user and an addict. Now, if you casually use enough, you will become an addict.
Yeah.
Of course, that's how that works. Everyone starts off as a casual user. No one starts off as an addict. Duh. That's logic. However, typically speaking, addicts must have something once a day. Someone who does something once a weekend, traditionally speaking, is not an addict. A man who smokes one cigarette a weekend or one joint a weekend is not an addict. Nah, it's by by definition, they're not an addict because they're choosing their time and appropriate place to do it. They are choosing appropriately and not consuming their life on the asset of I need the weed or I need the substance. So that's where I come in, because people always like to talk to me like, oh, you're an addict, Tanner, you're an addict. No, I'm a casual user. There's a fucking difference. Maybe if you actually learn about what you're talking about, you would understand.
Right. Instead of fucking, like, saying I'm this, I'm that, it's like...
No, actually, I'm this.
Right. You got it all wrong.
You got it all wrong. Like, I am aware there are risks to what I'm doing. Of course there are fucking risks. There's risks to drinking too much water.
Right. There's a risk for literally doing everything.
Right. Every time I step outside, I am putting myself at risk. It's all about using the right amount. It's all about playing it safe.
Right.
Just like I would if I'm using the deli. I'm not gonna reach my finger in the deli slicer. No. I'm gonna put my hand to the side. Just like I'm not gonna snort fucking a full cup full of Molly. No, that'll probably kill me. If you want to know how to die, that's how you die. Or I'm not gonna take fucking 5 Xanax bars and then drink a cup full of vodka. That'll kill you. That will kill you.
Even coming from somebody who doesn't fucking do anything, it's like, holy shit, that sounds fucking beautiful as fuck.
It is, because benzodiazepines and alcohol do not mix well together. Antidepressants and alcohol do not mix. Most prescription pills and alcohol, actually, a lot of things in alcohol in general don't mix well together. One of the few things that do mix well together, and this is, again, controversial take, alcohol and cocaine. Because one is a stimulant and the other is a depressant. So, I'm going to explain how this works. Say you take too much cocaine, you drink a cup of vodka, and it brings you back down a little bit. I was experiencing this with the Molly that I was taking. It is a psychoactive stimulant. I was going a little too hard. I was flying a little too high, you could say. It was 3 in the morning. I should have been in bed by midnight. I was not, because I'm an adult, I can do what the fuck I want. Right. However, I knew that I was getting tired, so I had to drink. I drank about half of a cup of like 50% vodka. Normal cup. I mean, it burnt like hell, but I fell asleep. I fell asleep. Because that's how that works for me. Like, I'm really a lightweight with alcohol. I can drink like 3 beers and I'm like, I'm good. I don't like alcohol. I think alcohol is absolutely disgusting, but it does have its benefits. It does. Morty.
It's an hand sanitizer.
Right.
It's used in fucking, mouthwash.
Right. It actually has its benefits, and doctors suggest that it can be motivational for those who are depressed. It's weird. Very fine line, like a cup of wine a day. People suggest there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying drink a full bottle of Jack Daniel's a day. That's probably not healthy.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'm gonna tell you don't do that. However, if you catch me in the right instance, that 1 time out of 10, I might tell you go ahead. And that 1 time out of 10, you should not ever listen to me. People will know when it's that 1 time out of 10. My eyes are the size of the moon, and I'm literally in a vegetative state on the floor, like. And currently, the world would be spinning. There'd be music in my ears, and I'd be seizing beautiful patterns. Holy fuck! What did that?
Yeah.
I'll probably be playing some Elton John because I fucking love Elton John. That's another video now. Which we already did.
Yeah, I was just about to say that sounds familiar.
Which we already did. But I think that ends this episode of our podcast for the day, titled Hitler's Responsible for Hentai. If you liked this, subscribe to Check the Grape. Watch more of his videos, subscribe to me, click like, and we'll be going back to the memes in about 5, 4, 3, 2,